All right, first they were rivals, now they are running mates. So we know that all of the Democratic presidential buttons will read Biden, Harris. So Kamala Harris is the first woman of color, the first black woman, the first South Asian woman to be on a major party presidential ticket. Let's dig in here with what it means for the party, if anything. So we've got Democratic strategist Dallas Jones here. These two are going to appear for the first time together as a cohesive unit in just a few hours from now. I don't know that this was a big surprise, but I'll ask you if you like the pick, especially based on the final few that were considered to be the front runners. Good morning.
Good morning, Lena. Well, me personally, I am ecstatic about the pick. I was a very early supporter of Senator Harris in this process, and I had said to many that I thought that she was the best choice amongst the lot of candidates that Joe Biden was looking at, and looks like a broken clock is right at least twice a day, and that's the direction that he went, and it makes sense. It's about winning, and I think Kamala Harris is poised to help Joe Biden win the presidency in November.
You know, it's funny you say that. We didn't really learn about what it means for the actual presidency or for the platform, which we'll find out next week at the DNC. But it does kind of show us that his viewpoint right now is the win. But can I ask you, what is the strategy about announcing now when the DNC is starting on Monday? Is there one?
Well, one, I mean, you want to get it out there to build the momentum. I mean, this announcement should have come before now. But obviously there's been a lot of postponement of activity due to the coronavirus. And so, you want to build up some momentum, leading into your convention. You want to be able to plan around your vice president. You can't keep it a secret for that long. And so, it was the right time, the week before the convention, to really put that choice out there. But it was, again, Kamala Harris is bringing some very unique attributes to this ticket. And I think, it was very surgically done when they looked at, some of the fallout throughout the states that were needed back in 2016 to win. She could definitely help to increase voter turnout, particularly in African-American communities in those states. And so they played it smart.
You know what, let me ask you, a lot of people say no one really votes for the vice president. It certainly can hurt you. I take you back to Sarah Palin and John McCain. I wonder if you see a downside with this pick.
Absolutely. I mean, I think anything that is ever different is always a risk, right? The reality is we are looking at a vice presidential nominee who is historical. Because she is the first woman of color to ever be nominated for the vice presidency. And we must always acknowledge that there are tinges of racism throughout our country. And that may be a factor in some of those key states where African Americans are not the majority. But again, we also live in a country that has shown that we are willing to elect a person of color to the presidency. And so I don't think that's as big as a factor. But, there are no matter who Joe Biden chose to be president, there were always going to be a group of people, both within the Democratic Party and outside, that simply were not going to be happy about the pick. And so it's kind of one of those things when you've got 11 decorated women that were up for this job, people were able to pick any one of them apart for their flaws. And Joe Biden picked the person that he thought would be best ready to serve in the presidency on day one.
Okay, Dallas Jones likes the pick. I wish we had more time, my friend, but thanks for the insight and the perspective, because I know you follow it maybe closer than most. Appreciate you. Have a good morning.
Good to see you.
Get yourself a cup of coffee. You earned it.